Imagine someone who thinks they are the star of every show, expects endless compliments and believes they are more important than anyone else. That's a big sign of narcissism. But narcissism is not just about being overly self-confident. It's a serious attitude where people see themselves as the center of the universe and constantly need others to admire them, while completely denying this fact when they are being pointed at it. Deep down, they are really touchy about any critique. At the time of making this video, I'm coming from a situation where I had to deal with a narcissist whom I could not really avoid in my life for about a whole year due to my life situation. Therefore, I believe it's super helpful to understand what really bothers narcissists, especially if you bump into someone like this in your life. Knowing their dislikes helps you understand why they act out and how you can manage hanging out or working with them while reducing the hassle of dealing with their emotional responses. So let's dive into it. 1. Loss of attention. Narcissists are addicted to being noticed. They live for moments when all eyes are on them, soaking up compliments and admiration like a sponge. Imagine being at a party and someone else starts getting all the laughs and attention. A narcissist in the room would feel like they're being ignored, which they really hate. They might start showing off, telling loud stories, or doing anything to steer the spotlight back onto themselves. This shows how much they depend on others to feel good about themselves. Sometimes they might even get upset or withdraw from the group if they feel overshadowed, which can make hanging out with them very tricky. To a narcissist, any attention is good attention. They often don't care if they're being praised or just noticed for something silly. They just don't want to be invisible. This specific need can make them act in extreme ways, like bragging about stuff they haven't done, or they might belittle the achievements of others. It's important to know this if you are dealing with a narcissist, because understanding their need for attention can help you predict how they might react in different social situations. 2. Criticism and rejection. Handling criticism is tough for anyone, but for narcissists, it's like a direct hit to their self-esteem. They see themselves as perfect, or at least as in the best state someone can humanly possibly be in most life areas. So any suggestion that they are not is taken as a personal attack. This sensitivity can lead to big overreactions. They might lash out, try to turn the tables and criticize you instead, or just shut down and ignore you. In school or work settings, this means they can be hard to work with on projects or in teams, since they might not take feedback well, even if it's meant to help improve things. Imagine giving a narcissist a small piece of advice, like suggesting a different way to tackle a homework problem or a project problem. Instead of saying thanks or considering it, they might snap back, saying their way is better or you don't know what you're talking about. Or they might point out areas in which you are not perfect, which withdraws you the right to criticize them at all. This defensiveness is their armor against feeling less than perfect. If you're around someone like this, it's useful to choose your words carefully, or sometimes decide not to give feedback unless it's absolutely necessary. Feedback that's not appreciated is without any value anyways, after all. 3. Being exposed or challenged. Narcissists hate being caught in a lie or not living up to the image that they've created of themselves. They work hard to maintain a facade of being the best, smartest, or most talented. When someone calls them out or proves them wrong, they see it as a major threat. Their typical reaction is to deny everything, shift the blame, or even attack the person challenging them. This can make honest conversations or debates pretty difficult, since they are more focused on protecting their image than discussing the truth. For example, if a narcissist claims to have the highest grade in class and someone else points out that that's not true, the narcissist might react by spreading rumors about the other person or insisting they're right after all despite the evidence, if you just see the situation in a proper light. This behavior is about keeping up the image. They believe that admitting a fault or mistake would make them lose respect, so they really go great lengths to avoid that. If you catch a narcissist in a lie or an exaggeration, be prepared for a strong reaction. Sometimes it might be better to let small things go to avoid conflict, unless the small things are actually worth the fight to you, which they sometimes may be. 4. Lack of control. Being in control is everything to a narcissist. They love to dictate how things go, whether it's in a group project, a relationship, or just picking a movie to watch with friends. They believe that their way is the best way, always. But when things don't go according to their plan, they can get really upset or even angry. This need for control is about ensuring everything reflects well on them and that they are always in a position to receive praise. Losing control can make a narcissist feel exposed, which is their worst nightmare. They might react by trying to regain control in unhealthy ways. For instance, if a narcissist doesn't get chosen as the leader for a group project, they might start undermining the chosen leader or convincing others to do things their way instead. Understanding this need for control can help you navigate group situations by finding ways to let them feel involved and heard, even if they are not in charge. 5. Seeing others succeed. Narcissists often view life as a competition and they hate losing. When someone else gets a compliment, achieves something great, or just gets lucky, narcissists might feel like they are falling behind. Instead of being happy for the person, they might try to downplay their success or shift the focus back on themselves. This jealousy makes it hard for them to have genuine friendships because they're always comparing and competing. In school, this might look like a narcissist dismissing someone else's good test score, saying the test was easy or that they didn't even study. Or if someone else wins an award, a narcissist might claim that they didn't really want it anyway. This constant competition can be exhausting for those around them. If you are friends with a narcissist, it might help to avoid topics that trigger their competitiveness, or remind them that it's okay for everyone to have their moments to shine. 6. Independence and autonomy in others. Narcissists don't like it when the people around them show independence or make decisions without their input. They prefer to be the ones making the calls, even in matters that don't directly involve them. This dislike stems from their need to feel important and central to others' lives. When friends or family members start doing things on their own, narcissists might see this as a sign of disrespect or as losing their grip on those individuals. For example, if a friend decides to take up a new hobby or make a significant life decision without seeking a narcissist's advice, the narcissist may react negatively. They might criticize the decision, belittle the new hobby, or act as if they are hurt by not being consulted. This reaction is about maintaining control and ensuring they remain the most influential figure in their social circles. In families, this can create a tense environment where members feel like they can't make their own choices without facing backlash. In friendships, this might lead to conflicts as everyone will be fighting to gain back their independence. Recognizing this pattern can help you navigate relationships with narcissists by finding ways to assert your own independence gently and gradually, reassuring them that your decisions are not personal attacks but normal acts of personal growth. If you are dealing with a narcissist, it's important to set boundaries and communicate clearly about your need for independence. It might also be helpful to involve them in discussions about your choices when possible to ease their need for involvement. However, maintaining your autonomy is crucial, and it's important not to compromise your independence for someone else's ego. Understanding this dislike can provide a more comprehensive view of how narcissists interact with the world around them. 7. Emotional intimacy and vulnerability. Despite how confident narcissists appear, they are often scared of getting too close to people. Deep down, they fear their flaws may be exposed, so they keep emotional distance to protect themselves. This makes it hard for them to have real, meaningful relationships. They might seem like they're all about surface-level fun and games, but when it comes to sharing true feelings, they back off. For a narcissist, being vulnerable means showing weakness, which they think will make them less admirable. They crave admiration but avoid situations that might show they're just human like everyone else. This can lead to relationships that feel shallow or unsatisfying for the other person. If you are trying to be close with someone who has narcissistic traits, it's important to understand this limitation. Pushing them to open up before they are ready can backfire. Sometimes showing patience and letting them take small steps towards opening up can help build trust. Conclusion. Getting what narcissists dislike helps us understand them better. Knowing these things is super useful for dealing with people who have narcissistic traits. It's all about finding the right way to interact with them while keeping your boundaries. This way you can have better relationships with them and avoid too much unnecessary drama. If you liked this video, will you possibly like one of these videos as well?